Hello and good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Saur Darkchylde, and welcome back to Let's Replay Ace Attorney Investigations. Last time, we started our investigations on the ground this time after the plane has landed. However, not before running into a certain someone that we know from one of the previous games in the series. Yup, it's Franziska von Karma, and it looks like she's hungry for revenge. Or whatever punishment that she wants to give to the person responsible for this case. Anywho, we continue to do more investigations, and found ourselves investigating in, taking the statements from Mr. LeBlanc, who was transferring something to America, and Miss Tenero, who is a flight attendant, and she apparently bought one of the suitcases that she designed out of pity for how they weren't selling very well, and then told us about the storeroom. However, before we were able to go down there, she went to go get her key card from her locker, only to discover that it is missing. With that line of logic, Hick thinking that the witness is being a hostile witness, Franziska arrested her on the spot. So now we're gonna continue on by going into the cargo hold and see if we can clear up her name. Can we do it? One way to find out. March 12th, 2019, 2:52 p.m. Flight I-390, lower deck, cargo hold. Wow, so this is the cargo hold, huh? It's so big! This plane is a special model. It has both the super large cargo hold and ultra luxurious first class seating. So this is the real crime scene of the murder? There is certainly a high probability of that, which is why we are here, correct? Okay, let's get investigating, sir. Alrighty. Let's see. First thing we want to investigate. Hey, what's this suitcase, pal? That was the victim. It's what the victim checked in with, sir. So this suitcase belongs to Mr. Hicks. I don't think he'd mind if we take a closer look. There's nothing out of the ordinary here, sir. Wait, a file? And there's a photo of Miss Von Karma in it, sir. It looks like a profile on Franziska. Why would Mr. Hicks have a file on her? Okay. Let's see, what else is there? Holy suitcases, Mr. Edgeworth! It's like an all-you-can-use suitcase fair! These must be all the leftover ones they couldn't sell. The ones the company is planning to dispose of after this flight is over. The paint job is really cool, don't you think? It practically screams artsy. Oh? Why not purchase one then? I'm sure it will bring you much happiness.
You think so? Then maybe I will. Oh, let's see here. $1,200? I think I'll pass.
And Miss Teneros wonders why they don't sell. That you need 2 jobs to buy just one. It definitely looks like one is missing. What's this brittle suitcase substance I'm stepping on? A bunch of glass fragments. Okay. Now then. Now that we examined those 2 items, the suitcase and these suitcases over here, getting those glass fragments, let's talk to Franziska. You arrived at the scene of the crime before Detective Gumshoe, correct? You then immediately began to direct an investigation. It seems to me that you were already here at the airport for something besides this murder. Yes, I was. I was following a very large and involved governmental level international crime. But it's much too large for one person to take on alone. So it was decided that I should form a joint investigation with Interpol.
Interpol, huh?
Interpol is involved?
It's a top secret operation, so I really can't tell you any more than I already have.
Okay.
Logic time.
Let's see. We'll do Interpol and Franziska von Karma profile. Now, why would Mr. Hicks have documents on profile Franziska?
Oh, I know. I bet he's a big fan of Miss Von Karma, sir.
Franziska said that she had come to this airport as part of an Interpol investigation.
Oh, maybe Mr. Hicks had hired her? Heard she was coming here and he followed her?
Detective, I think it's more likely that Mr. Hicks was, in actuality, Interpol agent Hicks. I think Franziska has some explaining to do. I think we can safely conclude that these fragments are from a pair of glasses.
And the victim was wearing a pair of broken glasses.
Exactly what I was thinking. I'm sure that the shards would match up perfectly with the remains of his glasses lens. Ergo, the victim was here, just as I suspected.
So you're saying that the real crime scene was here, sir?
Isn't that what I've been saying until now, for a while now?
Oh, is it? I didn't know that.
Perhaps it's a bit early to draw that conclusion. However, I believe that the probability has just skyrocketed considerably. All that's left is to find the murder weapon. You came to this airport, to rendezvous with the victim, didn't you?
Nonsense! What are you talking about?
We found a profile detailing information about you in the victim's luggage. I suppose it was prepared for him so that he could recognize you when he landed. Which makes him not Mr. Hicks, but rather Interpol Agent Hicks. Isn't that correct?
I should have known you figured it out, Miles. But it looks like they got to him first.
So you really did come here to receive an Interpol agent, then?
Yes. Agent Hicks was on the trail of a very large international smuggling ring.
Smuggling, huh?
He went undercover to investigate this crime. And it was I who put him on this case. I was supposed to receive a call from him on his cell phone once he had landed. I never expected to receive a call about his murder instead.
I think we now have pretty definitive evidence that Agent Hicks came down here to the cargo hold.
But what was he doing down here, sir? There's nothing but luggage. Oh, I get it. Maybe he forgot something in his suitcase and came down to get it. Ow!
Agent Hicks came here for a work-related reason. Of that I am sure.
Yes, I'm sure he was here to investigate the smuggling operation he was observing. Franziska, do you know exactly how he intended to pursue his investigation?
No, unfortunately, I was going to find out from him after he landed.
I see. But this raises another question. A normal passenger can't access to the cargo hold on their own. Agent Hicks must have identified himself to a member of the crew. Oh wait, that was Franziska.
And entered the cargo hold with that person who let him in.
Yes, and then he was murdered here. These glass fragments and his broken glasses are a testament to that, and then...
Franziska, the killer put Agent Hicks into one of those spare briefcases and...
They entered the elevator, and while they were riding it up, the plane hit a batch of turbulence. Because of the intense shaking, the suitcase popped open, and Agent Hicks' body flew out. At the same time, his wallet fell out of his pocket, spilling its contents everywhere. Which explains why there was money scattered all over the elevator floor.
I think it's pretty easy to say who the culprit at this stage.
What? Really, sir?
I know what you're thinking, Miles Edgeworth. But the killer can be none other than Miss Rhoda Tenero.
Definitive evidence.
If it was a crew member, any one of them could have shown Agent Hicks to the cargo hold. But the point to keep in mind is the key card that allows the elevator to come down here. The only person with such a high-level access is Miss Rhoda Tenero. I'd say that's a pretty decisive piece of information, wouldn't you?
I know what she's trying to say, but I'm not certain it's as simple as that.
If it was a crew member, any one of them could have shown the ancient Hicks to the cargo hold. That might be true, but then it could have been anyone, including Miss Meal or even the captain. Don't be a fool. Oh, a plane without a pilot in the cockpit is like a horse without a rider, her crop in hand, much like Scruffy over there.
Ah!
I can't disagree with her on that. Detective Gumshoe does always need a guiding hand. Very well then. Very well. Then what about the other flight attendant, Miss Meal?
Huh, I thought you might ask about her. But the point to keep in mind is the key card that allows the elevator to come down here.
But it's highly likely that the key card was stolen from Miss Tenero.
It's highly likely. Is that possibility the best you can come up with? And you call yourself a disciple of my father?
Well, yes. Yes, well, while I don't have any evidence,
Be quiet! You are a disgrace! There's more evidence pointing to Miss Ryota Tenero, you know. It's not just the key card that gives her away.
Are you talking about the murder weapon, the Mr. I-Fly piggy bank?
Yes, she is also the only person with that key to open the display case. Further, there is the matter of the key to the display case that held the murderous bank. But that is the... Stop right there, Miles Edgeworth! You don't have any proof that this is a red herring? If you must keep insisting that it's a fake, then what is the real murder weapon, and where did it go? Speechless, I see. That's not a surprise. After all, you know that we've searched the entire cargo hold and came up empty-handed.
There must be a way. There must be something that can help me rule out the piggy bank as the murder weapon. What should be examined further to help us ascertain the authenticity of the weapon? Why, the body, of course. Franziska, I think you were too quick to jump to your conclusions.
Oh, was I?
Yes. We don't even know the autopsy report yet. How can I not say that you made a snap judgment when you have not yet even seen? If the wound on Agent Hicks's head is consistent with the murder weapon.
Scruffy!
Yes, sir?
Contact the medical examiner's office at once! I wish to hear the results of Agent Hicks's autopsy.
Yeah, yes, sir! We've got a big problem, Mr. Edgeworth, sir!
What is it, Detective?
They're still doing the autopsy, but they said that they already know this one thing for sure.
Report, now!
The doc said that it's one giant bruise who's from a beating from the back from his shoulder down to his mid-back.
From the victim's shoulder down to his mid-back, he was beaten over with a wide area?
Well, I'd say maybe it's a sign the killer had a grudge against Agent Hicks. It wasn't just his head. The killer went all out and hit him multiple times, sir.
Scruffy, what is this? What is had a grudge against Agent Hicks supposed to mean?
Well, that's,
Was the wound on the victim's head consistent with the murder? Her weapon, detective?
Oh, well, they said they were still looking into that, sir.
You're completely useless!
Yow!
Sir, I told you already, you can't go down there.
No, you remove yourself from my way.
What is all that racket?
My luggage, my cargo! Oh, they're mine, and I demand you return them to me.
We're still investigating the cargo hold. Please understand and have a little patience.
I suppose there is no choice.
Finally, I think he gave...
Hey, what are you? You have left me no choice. He's but to use strong force. Arrgh!
You won't get past me! This is... Wait, that's it. So that's what this whole thing has been about.
Further, there is the matter of the key to the display case that held the murderous bank. After all, you know that we've searched the entire cargo hold and came up empty-handed.
The doc said it's one giant bruise who's beating from his shoulder to his mid-back.
Okay, instantly we're inside. Hate the thought of connecting these logics. Okay. This is gonna be interesting. We're gonna connect cause of death with the Mr. iFly piggy bank. Allegedly, the killer struck the victim many times over, which is why there is extensive bruising over such a wide area. But is that really the correct conclusion to draw from the evidence? The bruises from his shoulder to the middle of his back is one continuous mark, which is more suggestive of a single blow to his neck, the back. If that's the case, then the piggy bank is much too small to have caused that. Therefore, the murder weapon must have been something far bigger. Okay. Sizable weapon. And weapon couldn't found.
If we're looking for a rather large weapon, you'd think it would stick out. But so far, we haven't found anything that resembles a weapon of any sort. Perhaps, just perhaps, it's something we all overlooked from the very beginning. Because normally, it's too impossibly big to be taken into consideration.
What was that all about? Oh, was he trying to jump his way down here?
Franziska. What? What do you want? I found it, Franziska. I found the real murder weapon. You did?
He really jumped.
We didn't realize it until now, but the answer has been right in front of us the whole time.
He might be hurt. We should go check up on him, sirs.
There's that pompous attitude of yours again. You should learn to drop that habit. This coming from a prosecutor with the habit of whipping everyone she comes across? Anyway, if you really are a prosecutor, then you'll back yourself up with evidence.
You two aren't listening at all, are you?
Come on then, show me this real murder weapon. And you spoke of. I don't have any evidence to show you. Foolish reasoning for a foolish fool from a foolishly foolish fool meant to fool me. What do you mean by, I don't have any evidence to show? Perhaps I should have phrased that as, that which caused Agent Hicks' death is incorporeal. Forgive me, but I do believe I have figured out what was the real cause of death. Of course it was. It was free fall. The victim fell from a great height and subsequently died as a result. In other words, the real cause of death is free falling to the ground. He fell to his death? Yes, this is the only plausible possibility. The victim has extensive bruising on his back, on the back of his head and his back. And the only rational explanation for these injuries is that he fell to his death. But the murder happened inside this plane. I know. Are you claiming that there is some place in this plane from which he could have fallen from? As I said earlier, the answer has been right in front of us the entire time. You can't mean... Yes, I do. The victim fell from the top of the stairs to this very cargo hold.
What? Then... We're in trouble. Oh, we may have a second death on our hands, sir. Hey, you! Tell me you aren't dead, pal! Quiet! Why are you screaming? He's alive?
And there you have it, Miles Edgeworth. It's not possible that Agent Hicks fell over the railing to his death. That man is living proof of that. I suppose it's true that it's not possible, given the current circumstances. The current circumstances? What is that supposed to mean? Suppose that large piece of cargo wasn't there at the time. What would have happened then?
He would have been a Borginian pancake for sure, sir.
I suppose that man over there wouldn't still be breathing. But the reality is that the cargo box is there. So there is no point in entertaining your wild hypothetical scenario. It may be there now, but there is no proof that it was always there. Ha! As if there could have been a window of time when the giant box was not there.
Ah, but there was.
What?
What could I show to show that possibility?
Take that!
Whoops! I chose the wrong one. Doesn't this show the significant possibility to you?
Well, why are you asking me? I was the one asking you!
I think there's some possibility in that. Ah, sir!
No one was thinking for her opinions from the instant noodle crowd, Scruffy.
I suppose this is where the phrase "needs to be whipped by one's opponent" came from.
Don't act as though you have nothing to do with this. Now answer the question!
I suppose she's right, but first I should reconsider all the information I have. Let's see, so it wasn't that. Which one of these was it? Let's see, cargo from Zhongfa. I know which one it is. I just need to find the right evidence. This one.
Take that!
You refueled in the Republic of Zhongfa?
Yes, this flight had a short layover in Zhongfa in order to refuel. But that wasn't the only reason for the layover. We also transferred some cargo. What if the box in question was only transferred into the plane at that time? To further prove my point, let's take a look at what's next to the big box in question.
Ah, it's labeled Zhongfa Express.
Oh wait, that was Gumshoe.
Ah, it's labeled Zhongfa Express.
Correct, meaning it was loaded onto the plane in Zhongfa. Now, what if the box in question was also loaded on at the same time?
It would mean that box was not here in the cargo hold during the Europe Zhongfa leg of the flight,
making a clear drop from which the Agent Hicks could have fallen to his death entirely possible.
Ah, but your theory is still very far-fetched.
Then allow me a chance to prove how very likely my scenario is. First order of business, we'd be to examine that piece of cargo in more detail. This is a rather large piece of cargo.
There's a tag on it, sir. Let's see. Elf red statue? Never heard of it.
Nor I. But all I care about is if we can prove it wasn't here at the time of the crime.
Then let's get investigating, sir. Look here. Do not go about touching my possessions without my permission. Don't rush up to me like that, pal.
So this belongs to Mr. LeBlanc, does it? I should see what else I can find from him. I take it that this large piece of cargo belongs to you, Mr. LeBlanc.
Of course it is mine. I shipped this fine piece of art from Europe. This elf-red statue is worth 10 million cents. No, maybe much, much more.
Mr. LeBlanc's reasoning for choosing this plane must have been the large cargo hold.
10 million cents?
I suggest you stop trying to calculate how many packets of noodles that makes, Detective.
Darn, how did you know that? I feel like you can keep getting better and better at seeing right through me every year.
Though I grow with each revelation of the planet around the sun, I have the distinct impression he continues to madly spin in place.
Hey, Mr. Edgeworth, so that 10 million cents, is that in euros or in dollars?
Does it really make a difference for our case? Mr. LeBlanc, there is a chance that your cargo is related to our murder case. I was wondering if you would allow us to examine it a bit closer.
It is a very valuable piece of art, so no, there will be no touching.
Okay. Keeping track of this many pieces of cargo must be very taxing to the cargo crew.
This sure brings back memories of when I worked as a part-time mover, sir.
By the looks in his eyes, he's waiting for me to ask about the rest of the story. But no matter how he pours on the puppy dog eyes, I have no intention of doing so.
Look here. Do not go touching about my possessions without my permission.
I suppose I first have to appease Mr. LeBlanc if I want to examine this more detail. Okay. Let's see. Let's see. Logic. If Mr. LeBlanc has something to do with the smuggling ring, then it's possible this fake statue was brought over from Xingfa. I think I need to question him a bit further.
About your statue, Mr. LeBlanc. I wonder if it might be a fake.
What? How dare you say my art is a fake?
I suspect that your statue might be the target of an international smuggling ring.
Don't say such fantastical things. Those thieves would not dare. I have the certification of my cargo right here.
Do you mean the cargo certification document? Mr. Zinc LeBlanc, Hank, why didn't you say so earlier? Please, show it to us at once. I can't read this. What does it say?
It says, as plain as day, the cargo was put onto the plane in Europe.
And there you have it, Miss Miles Edgeworth. Too bad for you. This statue was brought on board in Europe, just as it states in the certificate. No, that's... Which means that there never was a window of time in which the statue was sitting there. I respectfully disagree. We can't discount the theory until I see the statue for myself.
Then you can have your wish. Look at it yourself and see I am right.
This? I know I've seen somewhere before.
This is the elf red? It gives off a feeling of art. I can practically smell it. This statue has a high amount of historic value. After it was unveiled at the museum in Europe, I brought it to this country to exhibit it.
I believe a closer look is warranted here. So this is the infamous Elf Red statue,
What is it, Mr. Edgeworth? Did you find something?
There is something wrong with this picture. We should examine it in more detail. Let's see. I need to look at something.
I knew it.
Go up. Is this spot somehow connected to any of the evidence I hold?
Eureka!
These eyes are awfully orange, don't you think?
Yeah, and pretty. They remind me of sunsets when I was in grade school, sir.
I don't think you see what I'm talking about.
No, I do. But it's really like the color of the sun when it's setting, sir. Ah, the memories. I remember standing out in that field, spinning with my arms out until I felt ill.
I don't care about sunsets. Focus, detective. What color are the eyes in this photo?
Huh? Ah, sir, they're red!
As I thought, this statue is a fake. Mr. LeBlanc.
What do you want? Do you not know I am a busy man? I allow you 2 seconds for your answer.
The yellow red. I suppose this is your pride and joy, is it not?
It is the biggest trophy on this European trip. Do you know why I wanted to possess this statue? The trigger started 17 years ago. Better grab a chair, sir. Sounds like this is gonna be a long story.
Mr. LeBlanc, I regret to inform you, and you have my heartfelt sympathy, but
What is it? Sympathy? For what?
you'll see. I'd like you to compare the eyes.
That large fellow there has a very bright and pretty eyes compared to you.
I wasn't talking about the two of us. I meant the eyes of the statue in front of us and the one in this photo.
Why the sudden yelling? And then... Oh! It is the photo of the statue on display in the museum in Europe. No!
Do you now see, Mr. LeBlanc? The statue before us is a fake.
Fake!
I believe that even further explanation will be required. Now that we have confirmed that this is indeed a fake, there must be some sort of proof that this was brought on board in Zhongfa. And I will present to you evidence that will resolve the remaining contradiction. Let's see, what's this?
The statue looks like it's stepping all over the neighbor's cloth, sir.
It kind of resembles the owner's attitude in a sense.
You, what did you say now? Further, my clothing is not being stepped on by anyone. It is too expensive for me to allow that to happen.
Please give the trespass. Forget the trespass of my subordinate.
Why should I forgive if the dress passes? Unless it is an expensive dress, you keep it.
Okay, fake statue. I feel like I know what to do here, but I can't remember at the moment. We made the deduction, that much is clear. We have to deduct this, huh? Let's see. Oops, made another mistake here. Or maybe I made the right choice. That is not possible. But it is. It shouldn't be this way. But the statue is on top of the cloth. Supposing that the neighboring piece of cargo was brought on board in Zhongfa. There is no way that any part of it should wind up under something from Europe. which means that this fake statue was smuggled on board in Zhongfa. But then, what about the cargo certificate? Let me ask in return, what about Agent Hicks? Why did he come down here in the middle of the flight? There is only one reason why: to secure proof of smuggling activity aboard this flight. So you say, but I don't believe he had to do that mid-flight. He could have just as easily inspected all of the cargo after the plane landed. That may be true. However, you have it backwards, Franziska. Sure, Agent Hicks could have waited until after the plane had landed, but he had a reason for coming down to the cargo hold. Suppose he had found the fake at the airport, it would have been after the swap had occurred. At that time, the suspicion would narrowly fall into the statue's owner, who would have no way to prove that the statue was switched out without his knowledge. Which means there is someone involved who is forging or modifying cargo certificates.
I guess the victim knew the real version of this. His was gonna be nabbed, huh?
Yes, while this photo could be seen as nothing more than a simple souvenir, it was in fact taken to be used as a reference document later on. Next, Agent Hicks had to secure proof that the smuggling had taken place. He came down here to take a picture of the cargo hold. A rather empty one at that, right before the fake statue could have loaded on board. A photo of the hold missing a valuable piece of cargo would have been proof enough. After that, all he had to do was hold the Zhongfa cargo crew and arrest the smuggler. Exactly. This only goes to prove my theory. If the statue was not in the cargo hold during the Europe-Zhongfa leg of the trip, there would have been enough height from which Agent Hicks could have fallen to his death. Officer! Move this statue immediately! I want a thorough investigation of the floor underneath now! Miss Von Karma, I'm ready to report my findings. Go on. After moving the elf-red statue out of the way, we tested the area under it with luminol, and there was a reaction. See? There was a reaction to luminol. An indication that there was blood in that spot.
Can we stop looking at it now, sirs?
It would seem that my deductions were correct after all. I suppose it would appear that way. The culprit cleaned the blood up well. And how do you think the killer did that? How did the killer clean up the blood? Oh boy. Using this, what else would they use? The killer used the bloody cloth I found inside the suitcase to clean up the mess. I see. They had a need to clean up all the blood before the plane landed in Zhongfa?
Yes, because otherwise, the cargo crew would have discovered it during the layover.
So you guys are saying that the murder happened before the plane landed in Zhongfa?
There is no other conceivable timeline for the events of the murder. But if that is true, then that throws a certain person's testimony into doubt. If the murder occurred before we landed in Zhongfa, then this becomes highly suspect. Recall Ms. Mealy's testimony about the Agent Hicks in regard to when we departed Zhongfa.
I saw Mr. Hicks sitting in his seat at 5 a.m., you know.
She claims Agent Hicks was alive at the time of the service calls, but
That totally contradicts the facts, sir!
But why would she lie about something like that?
I think the only person who can answer that is Miss Millie herself. To be continued! When we come back, we will be doing the finale of this case. I hope you enjoyed today's episode of Let's Replay Ace Attorney Investigations. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you did, hit that like and subscribe button, leave a comment if you want, ring that bell to be notified when our next video comes out. We do new videos every Tuesday, Thursday, and occasionally Saturday and Sundays. All this helps my channel to grow so you have more videos to enjoy. I hope you enjoyed this. Until the next video, this is Saur Darkchylde, signing off. Have a good night, folks.